Talking about 517 Day, New Lansing, it would be remiss to not talk about this guy that's in the building, right? Who's actually part of Old Lansing to me. If I'm keeping it 100, I know this guy from Old Lansing, so I would definitely be interested in hearing your perspective on this. So, without further ado, I want to welcome the entire crack house. Well, most of the crack house.
Most of the crack.
Yeah. Most of the crack house. Not the entire crack house, but about half the crack house staff. But, of course, led by the visionary himself, Mr. Crack. Crack-a-lack. You going by your government name these days?
Crack.
Okay. Crack.
Yeah.
Crack-a-lack. Yeah, Crack-a-lack. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Welcome, Crack. Before I even get into my question, bro, you mind kind of telling my audience a little bit about the Crack House and what you do?
Yeah, so Crack House Studios, we are Michigan's #1 top-rated studio. It's basically creating a location to offer the one-stop shop that I've offered my whole career. Because my whole career has been, I find a music artist, and step one, to make a song, you need a beat. Well, I've been producing for 20 years, so I would make a beat for them. Then now they'd be like, do you know anyone that has a studio we can go to? So I've been engineering for 20 plus years, and then, not own the studio. And then the next step is like, all right, we got this song. Do you know anyone that shoots videos? And it's like, actually, I've been shooting videos for the last 15 years. So I've been traveling the country shooting music videos. And then once you have enough of those songs together and you wanted to get like a physical copy made, I started a CD duplication company back in 2013. And so when I was 26, that was my first six-figure business, was CD duplication. And my wife runs that now. She's ran that since 2021. So we offer all of these services through Crack House Studios now. And so I've had the previous studio that I was at for 11 years, and it was just the recording studio. Right. But I always dreamed of having a place that was like, I don't know if you remember Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory. He had this sweet, huge place to do all this cool shit that he wanted to do. And I've been doing content for so long that I wanted to have a content studio. I wanted to have a photography studio. I wanted to have the podcast studio. I wanted to have, at least one recording studio or multiple recording studios, but just a literal one-stop shop. So now instead of an artist, because as I've grown my brand and met people from other places, a lot of them would talk about making a trip to Lansing, Michigan, specifically to come to the Crack House. But I felt guilty because it was just the recording studio. And I was like, man, yeah, you could, and we could work on some music now, but just wait sometime in the next year, a couple of years, I'm gonna have a spot. And then when you come up here, it's like, yeah, we could get in the studio and you could get some music made, but then we could go into the other room and you could do a photo shoot. Then we could go into the other room and we could do a podcast interview. Then we can go in the other room, we could shoot videos and shoot content. So like we could do everything there. And so that's what it is now. So it's crackhousestudios.com, from photo shit, studio, online mixing, content, music videos, and the one-stop shop.
Oh, you've been doing it like hardcore. Hey, I have to give you your flowers, bro, because I remember when I came home from prison in 2015, hearing about Crack-a-lack and Crack House Studios. So I had a homeboy with the same last name as you. I never asked if you guys were related, but when they said your name back then, you were had. Yep.
Okay.
So Chuck.
Yeah, that's my family.
So so we grew up together, right? So I was like, man, are they related at all, right? Then I finally was able to come to the Crack House Studio, and I came to the one that was over there by my brother, Krishan. Rest his soul. But I got to see kind of your vision, because even at that time, like Lakai's studio was a studio, and he had it like really. I don't know if you guys knew Lakai, but his was really parsed out as a studio. But then I go to yours, it's like a set. It's a studio, and it's like level studio is Lakai's, but it felt like a set. It felt like it was meant to be seen as well as worked in.
Yeah.
So I saw that vision from you, even at that point in time, and this was, I don't know, I came home in 2015, so I can't even remember when I was able to actually get in and see it. But
it was around 2017.
Yeah.
I had just remodeled it. And when I originally got that studio, so shout out to Jesse Jones, that was Lakaz's godfather. And he had a vision for having like the best studio in Lansing. And he was asking Lakaz, like, what other engineers do artists around here go to? And then he was telling about me. And I just had a home studio. And so I remember like getting recruited to come to Studio 707. And it was by this Jesse Jones guy. And he was like, man, I want to have all the best engineers in one studio. So then eventually once I got around to going there, I seen that it was like me, Eclipse, maybe even Shaq and Lakaz, all we're gonna share one studio. And I was like, dude, I got a lot of clientele. I don't want to ever have to share. I can do 40 hours easily myself. And then they had a storage closet across the hall. And I could see, okay, if I move some of this shit, I could put a desk in here and maybe like a mic. So I said, can I give you like $150 a month? And I just have that closet. And so they said yes. So I had a little storage closet. And after about a year, there was another wall, and I asked for permission to knock the wall down. And so then it got a little bit bigger. And I kept it that way for about maybe 6 or 7 years. And then I noticed that there was another wall with another storage closet, and it was supposed to be like the owner of the buildings. And I noticed that they sold the building to these young guys. And one day I was sitting in my studio with the door open, and the new owners came down in the basement. They glanced in there and they're like, huh, recording studio, cool. And then turned around and I was like, wait, new owners bought this shit. They didn't know that it was a recording studio here.
Right.
So they're not aware of this extra storage closet that's big as fuck back here.
At all.
So then I green lighted. I just knocked it all down and opened up the whole shit.
Good green light.
So
green light.
when you came and seen it, I had just remodeled it to make it bigger.
That's fucking.
That's
I never
hard.
knew that stuff, bro. That's awesome.
It started with a $150 a month storage closet.
Did it up the rent after you started knocking walls down?
So it was $150. When I knocked the first wall down, then it went to like $350 or $300 or something like that. Then when we knocked the other wall down, then it was just a 50-50 split of rent between me and Lakaz.
Yeah, right. Because at some point it was just you guys. By the time I really started coming around, by the time I moved back to Michigan, because I think I started being more closely aligned with you when I started working with No Sleep Millie.
Yeah.
That first trip down there, South by Southwest, was a motherfucker, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was a ball. But my question, so the question I've been asking everybody is, when we say this new Lansing, what does that mean to you? And forgive me, I got to kicking it with like an old friend without getting to speak to the fellas. But
good, bro.
listen, I want to include you guys. So listen, what's your name, bro? And introduce yourselves to my listenership. This is the 17 Winners podcast, but it's a special edition for this 517 day New Lansing thing. So it's probably going to be seen by a different audience than my normal audience.
Awesome.
So yeah, man, give us a quick introduction.
I'm YNZ Boz. I've been a rapper in Lansing for, I don't know, 15 years, probably more than that. Actually, I started recording with Crack when I was about 16.
Yeah.
And then, just making a lot of moves. I met MY back in college when he was fresh out of high school. I actually watched him start making his first songs and like producing, and then he went down his own journey, and you can tell your story. But.
Yo, what's up, guys? I'm MY. Started doing dubstep and DJing a lot, and felt like I was in college for something I didn't love, and so I had such a passion for music, so I followed that to LA and grew my talent and stuff. Moved back to Michigan. Started working with my man Crackalack about a year ago, and I care so much about what the clients think, and I really treat every client the same at the studio. So really fast I started getting booked out, becoming the most popular engineer at the studio, and then have such a big clientele list, and now I just became the studio manager recently at the studio, and starting to help build it up, and couldn't have done it without this guy Crackalack though.
Yeah,
so.
MY is my music protege. And it came from, I don't know if you know, he was a Turtle or Slim.
Yeah.
Well, in Chastain.
Yeah.
So they were doing some sessions at the studio with MY. And so one of the nights I happened to come to the studio during one of their sessions, and then they're all putting their arms around MY, and they're like, this the one. This the truth, Crack. I'm telling you. He said, I know you had a lot of different engineers come and go. This the one. This the one right here. This is
Justine,
your
no, Justine.
It was him. Him and Slim. And so I was like, okay, cool. I said, how does that sound to you? Like being my protege?
I love it.
Yeah. So around the time he started at the studio I always give the analogy of, in the beginning, you know, ADHD, you have a lot of different ideas for businesses and there's so much that we want to do in so little time. In the beginning, you can manage like 6 small things, but then if they continue to grow, eventually it's like, can you run this one for me? Can you run this one for me? Can you run? So it's a good thing to happen, but it pulled me out of where I'm just doing math and paying attention to numbers, and I'm like, somebody's got to like run the company. And if I stay an engineer, then all of my time is going to be in sessions and no one's going to be running the company. And then I was thinking of like, to grow the company, we need to make the most money possible. And I make the most money when I'm doing video stuff. So then when people were saying, this is your fucking protege, this the one, this the one, this the one. I was like, okay, here, I'm going to step down. All of my clientele, here you go. And then now I'm doing videos and now we're growing the studio. And I mean, I'd say the last 12 months have been the biggest 12 months, you know, in my career so far. And I think we're only at like 5 to 10% of, like the podcast shit isn't even like launched.
Right.
He's gonna be doing all of music artist content. Hasn't even launched. The photography shit, like, still hasn't really even launched like that. I started offering content for local businesses and stuff. The few that I've talked to all have said yes, and that's like numbers of like 3 to 4 music videos, and my music videos aren't cheap, and it's a week of work, you know, so I see endless like opportunities and shit.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I appreciate that last part of the conversation so much more because it was a business conversation more so than the collaborative creator conversation than we originally sat down kind of to have, right? But as an entrepreneur, I definitely identify, and especially working inside of the entertainment industry as an entrepreneur, being able to scale, I appreciate you giving those blue jewels. Hopefully y'all are paying attention to that part. But so now that we got a better understanding of who we're talking to, especially with the fact that we got like a mixture of like a new Lansing and like, I don't want to say old Lansing. I just use that as like a term because you've been around OG style. Yeah. And my ass old. I'm 43, so I've been here.
I think we're unk right now.
We unk style.
I'm big bro. I'm 26.
Somebody unked me in the comments on social media one day. It was like unk dropping gems. I was like, I was there yet. So I guess I think the 30s to early 40s is unk.
That's unk.
And then once you maybe get to 50, you're OG.
Yeah, something like that. I can rock with that.
So we're unk.
We unk level. All right.
So
so where we are now with this conversation, what does the new Lansing feel like or sound like? What do you think when that comes to mind?
Potential.
Yeah, honestly, like since working through the studio, I never knew there was so much potential in the area. Like genuinely, there's so many artists I believe in and like see doing it. The number one thing I see is like no one's really promoting themselves enough.
Not doing the content.
Yeah, like not doing the content side of stuff. But so I mean, the talent is definitely there. Like the new Lansing wave, it's like we have the sound. People are listening to Michigan right now. Like Michigan has the sound, and it's just such a cool opportunity to like be a part of it and help grow it. Yeah, you know, and it's insane to just see like, you know, how much people could really be big artists coming out of Lansing, you know, and it's cool to see some people like 3200 Trey, you know, starting to come up and come up out of here and working with a lot of people that work with him. So yeah, new Lansing is just a whole new sound, you know what I mean? But still that same energy, you know. And yeah, I feel like more people are just coming together through music, and it's cool to be a part of like, you know, connected with so many different people, and we're all just, you know, meeting under music, you know. There's people I never would have hung out with outside of music, and now it's like we're all friends and family now. Yeah. You know, so it's just really cool to be a part of the next wave. You know, I produce for a lot of these people, so, you know, I feel like I'm a part of the new Lansing sound right now, you know?
Yeah, super 100%. Cool. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I didn't even think about it.
Early days, yeah. Because he's like making beats on the spot in sessions for a lot of the artists too. So where they come in and, you know, most artists come to the studio with a beat off of YouTube, YouTube the MP3 downloaded. They're not even getting like the stems or the WAV file or anything like that. And then doing it, well then he's telling them, I make beats fast as fuck. I can make beats like this.
I make beats in 20 minutes.
So then it's like, hey, next session, book like an extra hour, and I'm gonna make a beat on the spot for you. And so then, boom.
Yeah. So now there's just so many artists that like I am their producer. Some people don't even come in to the session with beats. They just expect me to produce a song, and you know.
It's fucking good.
So yeah, it's super cool. It's a talent I had to definitely hone in because. Yeah, I mean, anyone can produce by themselves on their own time, but when you're on, you know, I respect, you know, people work their asses off for money, and I see that, and I, you know, so that's why I make sure I'm giving every client the best mix I can possibly do. I don't treat anyone differently, and, you know, if I can help them out, and I try to make the beats as good as possible, fast, so I want to, like, allocate their time as, you know, and people respect that, and I think they can see that, you know, so I feel like that's what's made me so popular in the area is, like, you know, genuinely caring about every artist the same. There's not, if there's a bigger artist, like, I treat their mixes the same as anyone else's, you know what I mean? I genuinely want to see everyone do good, you know? So it's cool to be a part of just so many different artists, like careers and paths and, you know, having an influence on people, you know?
And you literally are like crafting part of the sound.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Because as a producer, you are instrumental literally in like how this
It's a lot of it, and like I catch the vibe of the artist, you know what I mean, through doing a few songs with them, and then, you know, I have a pretty good grasp on their sound and how I can help elevate it and push it and make them sound better, giving them tips, you know, and so yeah, it's been a journey so far.
Boss, why you think ain't nobody doing the content like they supposed to?
I wish I could tell you, man. I mean, I'm nuts about this. And Crack put it the best way one day. He's like, I don't care what you're doing, if you're a business owner, artist, or whatever. You're a content creator first. You have to be. You have to be. It's the most important thing. It's the only way to network yourself. Everybody's on social media. Everybody's on social media for hours and hours and hours. It's a skill you have to hone in. I mean, you can dive real deep into it as far as like, you know, psychology behind it and like, you know, the 1 second rule, 2 second rule, and like really keep people captivated. But as far as why they're not doing it,
wife.
I don't know why they're not doing it. I wish I could tell you.
Hi, wife. You ready? You ready? Okay. I'm in an interview right now. But I wanted to answer with you on camera because I remember Yo Gotti did that at the Breakfast Club or something, and I was like, I'm gonna do that one time on one of my interviews. I'm gonna answer for my wife and let them see how much she matters in my life. So I got a few more minutes left. I'm interviewing Crack-a-Lack and the Crack House crew, and I will be done. Okay.
Had to do it.
I had to do it.
Respect, bro. Respect.
It has literally been a thing since I started the podcast. I'm gonna do that.
Clip farming.
I did it.
That's what clip farming is.
That's what clip farming is. So like I'm starting to learn my content
Yeah,
stuff
see,
too,
there you
right?
go. There you
And
go.
like I said, I'm definitely planning on coming and doing some content day stuff. I'm literally still kind of feeling out my voice when it comes to this podcast thing. They say by the time you get to around episode 50, you kind of have your voice and your feet up under you. So I'm at like 30.
I bet.
So I'm getting there, and when I
yeah.
get to my 50 mark, then I feel like, all right, boom, I'm a professional. Let's take off. So expect to see me soon because I'm knocking off, and I'm turning my distribution up too. I'm going from the 3 a month to higher now that I have a sit down studio because I was just walking around with my backpack and pulling it out on the scene wherever I'm at, Detroit, Flint, wherever. I was just doing it. So I will be to see the Crack House for sure. But before I end this, because my wife is not waiting for me, I want to make sure I ask this question. And I'm gonna start with you, Crack.
Yeah.
What does the future of Lansing look like to you? Give me 5 years. Like, what we looking like in 5 years as a music city?
People have always asked me to start a label, but I've always said that, you know, I'm still building the thing. I'm not there yet. And then now, I'd say in the last few years, now that I've had the opportunity to work with certain independent artists that are doing it at a high, like 7, 8, 9 figure level, I'm super interested in that back end because I would say majority of all of my making a living since doing this has been from exchange of services. So like, how much for a beat? This, boom. So there's no like back end. And I haven't worked with a lot of artists where there would have been a lot of back end. But now that I've seen artists and like the day to day, and I'm like, man, you're kind of chilling, and because of the music that you made 5, 6, 7 years ago, like you're doing good. I need to build up that, you know. And so with that being said, I've just learned a lot about the music industry and the business side of it, and so I think that the Crack House Studios will be a huge platform, especially the new. So we're launching a new branch, which is Live from the Crack House. So Live from the Crack House will be. That's the platform. So that'll
sound hard. I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
Just sound hard.
Just picture interviews, performances, live music reviews, live beat reviews. It's the whole entertainment side. So I tell people, picture On the Radar mixed with DJ Vlad, mixed with No Jumper, mixed with World Star Hip Hop, mixed with a Lyrical Lemonade or something, or a Breakfast Club.
Okay.
So it's a whole branch of entertainment. It's because, like Imar was saying, talent is not the missing piece. So the people watching this right now, that you're talented as fuck and you're like, damn, I haven't had my opportunity. It's like you have to create that opportunity and take it. So talent is just a very, very small piece of the puzzle. And so what you need is exposure. And the thing that 100% of everyone I've ever worked with has in common is they need more eyeballs. This podcast right here, it's great. Shout out to everyone that's gonna watch it, but like, don't we need more eyeballs on it? Would it be nice to have 100,000 subscribers or 1 million subscribers? So like everyone needs more exposure, and so with Live from the Crack House, that's what that will be. It'll be an opportunity for an artist that could be a complete up and coming nobody technically, and they come and make a song, and then they can get an interview or they can do a performance, but then this performance is on this platform that we're building. Like we just started building it in the last couple of months. So it's like, and I've done this over and over, so I know how it works. It's gonna be a very like this, and then like this, and then it starts to go up like that. And right now we're at this, you know, but I can see even at this, oh shit, I see so much opportunity, so much potential. Like we need a person to do this and this and this and this, and it's like, just, it's cool that we're documenting this because it'll be fun to look back 5 years from now.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
Like, I remember when he was sitting in the basement on the fucking pink
at the
comforter at
fledge.
the
Yeah,
fledge, on this podcast, and we have this to go back to and look.
Yeah, for
at,
sure.
so.
For sure.
real. Yeah, I mean, I definitely see like Lansing becoming a staple city in like the music industry, like for real. I know what Flint rap kind of has it now, Detroit rap, but like Lansing really does have its sound, and you know, it's cool being a part of crafting it, and I, you know, see too much potential for like it not to be a staple city, you know, in the country, you know what I mean, even in the world. So yeah, I definitely see Lansing becoming one of those like, oh god, that's Lansing rap now, you know what I mean? That's gonna be the next thing, and yeah, a lot of people are gonna grow through it. The whole city's gonna get bigger, and more artists are gonna be inspired. You know, oh, this person made it out of Lansing, now I can too. So I just see it being a big communicative push. You know, growing the sound of Lansing, and yes, we're gonna be big. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I want fucking plaques at the studio too. That's my goal.
Right.
I already have a hallway picked out where I was saying we have plaques that are coming here. And I think
spots.
that might be one of the next ads for the Crack House, is saying, like, music artists, you got talent, I need plaques right here. Come record your next hit here.
Who's gonna be the first one?
Yeah.
That's hard.
Who's gonna be the first one to get
Miles,
plaques?
what you say about the next 5 years?
It's fine. I mean, I agree with both of them, man. I mean, like you was saying earlier, all eyes are on Michigan right now. I mean, you got some boys come out of Florida, you know, but Michigan music is huge, man. Detroit's got its own style.
Yeah.
Flint's got its own style that's adjacent to that. Lansing's developing its own style with the help of Crack House Studios and everything. Like, it's developing its own sound straight up, you know.
Yes, sir.
Like, in Michigan music, it's always been substantial, but now it's just more than ever, you know. As far as rap goes, like, we're going crazy. I mean, Detroit really sparked it off. Flint's doing this thing, and now Lansing's doing this thing. You know, so 5 years, who knows? Maybe Crack Lab is on label. Like you said, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Where do you see it in 5 years? Where would you like to see it in 5 years?
I would like to see essentially a similar vision to what y'all described, because I do see you as a label owner. I see myself as somebody pushing that charge as well.
Yeah.
But I see us developing as potentially the third city. because as long as I've been here, I came here when I was probably 11. And when I got here, MC Breed was the biggest artist from Michigan. And then it was Esham and ICP from Detroit.
Yeah.
So when I got here, it was already Flint and then Detroit. And then it reversed to Detroit and then Flint.
Yep.
But it hasn't gone anywhere else.
Yeah.
Here is the only other place that I've heard a solid, like a beating on the ground, like it was something coming. Yeah. So I think we're going to be the next city to emerge
100%.
in the next 5 years.
100%.
Last thought, Ovation. Does that mean anything to you guys?
Ovation?
Ovation.
Can I get a definition?
Yeah.
The spot on Washington. What's the name of it?
The new venue?
Yeah.
Oh, Great Wall Hall?
Great Wall Hall.
No.
No?
Ovation.
I ain't ever heard of it.
I don't think I heard of that one either.
Sound like another dispensary. There's only 45 on every block.
Yeah, I said drop me anywhere in Lansing with a football and I could hit a dispensary.
Literally.
Yeah, literally.
Dude, somebody at work the other day was like, hey, you know where any dispensaries are around here? I'm like, bro, step outside. Just walk
Speaking
over
of
there.
dispensaries, this episode is sponsored by Fortuo Cannabis.
Hey.
Shout out
Fortuo Premium Cannabis.
Shout out Eric, manager over there.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome
No,
guy.
I'm talking about this. Where people who love music fought for this, and it's been coming a long time.
Oh, it's a music arts center? Oh, that's
This
what's
is a
up.
new venue coming to Lansing. When you drive down Washington, South
That's what's
Washington, all that construction over there is what this is becoming.
Okay.
That's fucking sick.
Again,
Where's that
reinforcing
competition? No, just kidding.
reinforcing the whole idea that Lansing is the next music city.
Yeah,
Because
facts.
why are they steady building?
If there's nothing
Another
going
one.
on. Yeah.
We just got Great Wall Hall.
Yeah, yeah.
And now we're building Ovation. So like there's something to
Oh, yeah.
our city as a music city. So I appreciate you fellas
Yeah, man.
dropping
Thanks for
by.
having us, bro.
Hey, this is awesome. Thank
Great
you.
to meet you, bro. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir, you too. I will see you soon.
Crack
my
House
brother.
Studios.
Crack House Studios.
Crack House Studios.
Lansing, Michigan, baby.
517 day.
And fuck prison.
And fuck
And
prison.
fuck prison.
Free the real.